What's up? Yo, 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 yo. Hola. Hola, individuals. Como estas? Hola. Just give me a moment here. Just trying to get these last sort of things finalized. And then we will begin. Hiya. Hey, Karinaro. What's going on? No, no. All right. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome. Hi, I'm Goose. Hi, welcome, and hi, and hello, and hi, and hello, and hello. Hi, what's up? Hey, did you guys know that Trump is Jesus? Apparently, Trump is Jesus. I don't know if you knew that. Hey, Usman, how's it going? It's I guess a new revelation. I guess it's a new chapter for Christianity. And now we can all be blessed. Now we can all be blessed in the light of the Lord Trumpus Christ. You know, I mean, if you guys like Trump Jesus, then let's all start praising him. You know, let's all start praising Trump Jesus. You know, why not? Why the heck not? I'm going to put a poll up, and I'm going to ask simply, do you think Trump is Jesus? And it's going to be a simple yes or no poll. And you can tell me whether or not you think that Trump is Jesus. I don't, but, you know. I'm just saying that there's maybe some people out there who would not have told him to delete his post had they been given the chance. So we're gonna watch some reactions. All right? We're going to watch a couple of videos. We're going to watch a couple of people reacting to this and then saying their own comments, and then we're going to react to those comments. Yes, this is what the internet has become. It's a reacting to a reacting to a reacting game. And gosh darn it, as long as there's still interest in it, I think people are going to continue to make content in that vein. So, me included. You know, we're a commentary channel. We do a lot of commentary stuff. So if you like commentary, I know I said that 3 times in rapid fire, but that's the kind of, you know, perspicacity you can accept in your, or you can expect in your favorite neighborhood goose. So, you know, if you like that kind of stuff, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Hoping to build this community. I'm losing subscribers for some reason. I only have 300 and some odd of them, 380 or whatever. Trying to get to 500, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. However, if you like the content, then stick around. You know, maybe we'll grow. That's my hope. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to try and stall and draw this out as long as possible as I get this ready to clean my glasses. There we go. Now we can continue, or start, I guess. So we're going to start real simple. I'm going to lower the music just a little bit here. We're going to start real simple. We're just going to take a look at some initial reactions to Trump's decision to post himself as Jesus Christ, later to be deleted, claiming that it's, I assure you, I'm just trying to pretend to be a doctor. And we'll get into it, but that seems just about as ridiculous, if not more so. So if you didn't know, I think it was Sunday, either Saturday or Sunday, one of the days of the weekend, Trump published an AI-generated photo of himself that you see on screen right now. Not with the lady in it, but without the lady in it. It was an interesting move. It basically depicted him as Jesus, more or less. I mean, it's hard for anyone to look at that and be like, he is not trying to parallel himself to Jesus. It's all right there. And he's healing a sick man, which obviously is a parallel to Jesus. And he's got some shining light in his hands. And he's always said, like numerous times, he's said to himself, you know, maybe we can inject light into some people. Maybe we can make them healthy that way. So, but as you could see, like, I don't know if you can see it at the very top of the image. You can't. I guess you can't. But in the very top where you see my cursor going, there's like a headdress on one of these guys that seems like distinctly like pagan. And then he's got like airplane, like jets in the background of the photo that look like weird shark monsters. So, you know, someone's got to work on that prompt just a little bit. Skippy, what's up? Yes, I was late today. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I apologize. I'll try not to be late in the future. Late for me is like non-existent because the stream starts anywhere from 9 to 11. So it's like I got a lot of wiggle room. The problem is if I start it and then I have to feed my dogs, it's like an hour-long endeavor. So I'm always either here at 9 or like 10:30. So let's take a look at what Gubba Homestead. Now, the reason I'm picking a homesteader is because these trad wife types are very like in vogue these days, and they're very representative of a sort of almost a regressive style of living that puts women back in the home and is also thus subject to a lot of like Christianity tropes, like methods of Christianity, the practice of Christianity, Christianity adjacent lifestyle choices. So let's see what she has to say about Donald Trump posing as Jesus Christ.
Trump just posted an image of himself portrayed as Jesus, and people are just okay with this? Am I the only one who finds this weird? Not only that, but look at the background. In the original image, there's soldiers in the background. In the one that Trump uses, it swaps them for a crowned winged figure. Why change?
I'm pretty sure there was no original image of this. It was just all AI generated. I'm not sure what exactly we're talking about when we say the original image. Maybe did he post two? That I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, he's the one that posted the one that has that headdress on it, which is not like Luciferon. Like it's not a satanic thing. I joke when I say that it's very like pagan and Kabbalistic and like Baal and shit, like, you know, this is like some Babylonian shit. But no. The reality is not that he doesn't know enough about religious matters. Like, he doesn't know anything about the Bible. He cannot quote a single verse. And he says that the Old Testament and the New Testament are equally good in his eyes. So he supports slavery. He supports murdering innocent young girls. He supports child slavery or child brides, I guess, which I guess is the equivalent. You know, oranges or what is it? Potato. And again, the reason why I'm choosing to highlight a homesteader saying this about Donald Trump is because they're typically in support of him. They like the libertarians and the people who live on those compounds. They love Trump, but they're also very religious sometimes. And religious fundamentalism is actually what pushes people out into their own like compounds and stuff. So I would have expected a person to be fully in support of Donald Trump posing as Jesus, but there's a weird twist to this, because these people who claim that Donald Trump is Jesus, who are naturally, understandably upset, or who wouldn't proclaim Donald Trump as Jesus, and who are understandably upset about all this stuff that's happening, with him posing, AI generated photos and like depicting himself as Jesus, and also saying that he's like Jesus because he said that a few times as well. It's really easy for people like that to just excuse away whatever intent it was that these things were posted with, and to try and bend over backwards or use mental gymnastics in order to try and like disprove whatever claims being made about the guy who posted the fucking thing. So the bottom line is that Trump himself posted this photo. If he was a godly man, then he would perhaps know that there's like a small part of that image that Christians would see as, somewhat Luciferian in nature. But no, a man with no sense of introspection, with no empathy, with no sense of self, he's not going to ask questions like that.
It and add symbolism like that when crowned winged figures are often associated with...
The original picture is from February. Okay. So then why is this just becoming a controversy now, I have to wonder? You know, why is it just now that people are like upset about it? What was the original picture with Trump in it? Eric Adams posted it. Oh, you mean the 40-year-old black woman, I think he said he was? Or no, gay black man was what he claimed to be. Is that Eric Adams? Eric Adams, Trump, Jesus picture, February. No, it's not that one. Nick Adams. Yeah, I think Nick Adams is who you're thinking of. Seemingly. No, give me more. No, damn it. So it seems like it was Nick Adams. So what changed about it? Looks like the headdress on the guy, or the head spikes, and the jets are equally as terrible. So yeah, it looks like the thing that changed was the head spikes.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This got me like...
Where are we? Okay.
Lucifer and other demonic entities. And look at the person that he's healing. Kind of looks like Epstein. Coincidence?
All right, I have to get water. I'm getting heartburn. Give me a sec. Now I have to wonder what what positive reason could there be for Trump wanting to heal Epstein? Now, I know that it's no secret that Christians tend to harbor PDF files, but why do we need to make it so overt and so clear that like someone's being healed of their pedophilia? Like what? So they can go to heaven? Why do you want Epstein there? It's like whenever I talk to Christians about like, oh, you know that you know that Hitler practiced Christianity, and they're like, oh, but it wasn't real Christianity. He wasn't a real Christian. No, he was. He followed the same Bible that you guys did. He just tended to do different things with the interpretations. Him not being a real Christian is about as accurate as you saying that you know exactly how God works. Neither of those things can be proven. If you follow the teachings of Jesus, regardless of how you do it, you're still following the teachings of Jesus. So potentially, Hitler being a Christian would have meant that he was a decent Christian because he followed the teachings of Jesus. Crazy, right? I mean, it's just, I guess it's all how you view other Christians, but you don't get to be the gatekeeper if they follow the same book.
Maybe, but how many coincidences before people start asking questions?
Where are the other coincidences?
Because when powerful people start portraying themselves in religious imagery, things start to get weird. And I think things are about to get a lot more weird. But what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist who knows my savior is not a man. Let me know what you think. So let me get this straight. Trump just posted an image of himself portrayed as...
If it isn't clear, I don't agree with either of them. I don't agree with conspiracy theorist homesteaders. Because they tend to want to take rights away from people, and I don't agree with Bible thumpers. And when you mix the two, you got quite the nexus of circumstances. But the comments are true enough. A Christian who really believes the Bible, who does practice the teachings of Jesus, would be saying that this is not how you're supposed to do that. You don't worship a dude. You don't worship just any old guy, and Trump is certainly not the second coming of Jesus, I can tell you that much. If anything, he's what is depicted in the Bible as the Antichrist. Attempts on his life, idolatry, dragging people astray. He's saying that the Pope is wrong. The guy who's the representative of Christianity here on earth, or Catholicism at the very least. There are plenty of Christians who say he speaks for them too. But he's supposed to be the most holy man on the planet, and Trump is there saying that he's wrong. And he bases it on him saying that he's weak on crime? First of all, international crime is not what people mean when they say weak on crime. They just mean, like, the petty crimes that, like, just people do, like, out of necessity or whatever. That's what crime typically people are talking about, like trafficking and drugs and petty theft and, crimes of passion and crimes of circumstance. Things like that. Things that people are almost sometimes forced to do. They don't talk about the PDF files, and I find it a little hypocritical that Trump himself would say that the Pope is soft on crime when he was on the Epstein list 300,000 times, and he won't allow it to be he won't allow it to be released, but he won't, he's not going to be compelled to either testify or admit guilt or anything like that, when he has been credibly accused many, many times of being a PDF file himself. For him saying that the Pope is weak on crime, it's insane. Is just the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. And I find myself saying that a lot about things that Trump does, but I think that's just par for the course at this point. I think we're all just riding the roller coaster, and we're seeing the sights that were always intended for us to be seeing along that ride. And it ain't pretty. So, wackadoos aside, I agree. The wackadoo things she says aside, I agree mostly with what she has to say about Donald Trump. And this... Stop. No. Hello? Hello? Nope. 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 Trying to look at this one. There we go. So this next one should kind of give you an indication as to why you shouldn't typically listen to this type of person. It's a bit of a wackadoo, homesteader, libertarian, Christian, all the things that people would not like to associate with if they were to meet somebody like this at a party or at a bar and start hearing them talk.
You believe these people went on a moon mission?
Yes.
And just splashed back into the ocean?
Yes, I do. Why are you always holding a quart jar of milk?
Okay, let's look at some highlights from their trip. They launched on April Fool's Day, which I'm sure is just a coincidence. We got these two perfect
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
Of Earth.
What did you say?
They even had the same clouds.
What did you say?
We got these two highlights from their trip.
Okay.
They launched on April Fool's Day, which I'm sure is just a coincidence.
No, stop!
So let me get this straight.
Oh my gosh.
Back into the ocean.
The
Okay,
keyboard
let's look at some
command's just
highlights
not working.
from their trip. They launched on April Fool's Day, which I'm sure is just a coincidence.
It is. It was just the day that they happened to do it. There are plenty of actually launches that happened on April 1st. It tends to be at the time of the year where weather conditions are starting to improve from winter weather, when we start to actually see the sun, when we start to see clear skies, where wind shear or wind resistance is at its lowest. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why you would want to launch at the very first opportunity, at the very beginning of when the weather gets better. It's usually going to be April, beginning of April. So it being April 1st was actually a coincidence. I thought it was kind of a hilarious coincidence, but then again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
We got these two perfect pictures of Earth. They even had the same clouds.
I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that could have happened. It could have been because they were taken around the same time. They could be because they were taken it was a 5-day mission, I believe. And so the perspective of the Earth, like if you're in orbit and if you're going like the same way that the Earth, like the same speed, I guess speed is the Earth, but not really speed, relative speed, I guess. Then your image of the Earth is going to be fairly similar to the last one you took because, again, your speed is matching Earth's, or it's like, because that's orbit. I don't think that orbit necessarily defaults you to the speed that Earth is going, but it could happen in a very similar way. So if the Earth is spinning, or even if it's going in the opposite direction, it would be even easier to accidentally catch the same photo as you did before. Or if you are, and I can't really see the continents. Is that Asia? Anyway, if you're at like the bottom, like where the axis is like almost exactly center, then you're only going to see like sort of the same view, just turned upside down or left or right. And that just depends on part of the year, what part of the year it is. Because the Earth, as it spins and rotates, it also tilts, like its axis tilts, and so that's why we get seasons. When the summer in the north, like in the northern hemisphere, when the summer happens, and that's why you get opposite seasons on both sides of the Earth. In the summer, when the northern hemisphere starts to warm up, it's because that part of the Earth is closer to the sun. Very simple, easy to understand, very easy to grasp. So yes, there are many reasons why two pictures taken from the space shuttle would look, or taken from Artemis, I don't know if you would call it a space shuttle, but they would look very similar for a bunch of different reasons, none of which are conspiratorial.
And the live streams? Definitely some interesting things.
If you're looking at a digital picture of like a digital rendering of something that's either streaming to you, even this stuff, like there are not microscopic, but there's like almost imperceivable scan lines. There's imperceivable flickering. There's just stuff that our eyes don't notice. And when you really scrutinize something like what would essentially be, they just did 4K for the first time this trip. Like they were just able to stream in 4K. So they were dealing with 80s technology, CRTs, like liquid crystal monitors. Like they weren't at their exact technological peak for talking with the American people. That was mostly so they could get off the ground, so that they could live in space while they were doing this journey. So it's not that weird that there would be some visual artifacts and compression details and scattering and things like that just happen naturally in video, especially older video.
Flying up here in space, and those are green beans.
And now,
what's the problem with that? What was the problem with that?
after billions of dollars spent, they're back.
Goose is a psyop and not real. I've wondered that many times.
Yay, NASA. After all of this, if you're ready for something real, comment space now. So let me get this straight.
If you're ready for something real, subscribe to my course. Buy my course. If you're ready for something real, buy my course. That's straight up what she said. I gotta make sure. She's definitely a scammer. Yep. Such a fucking scammer. Such a scammer. And I'm sorry, Skippy. I'm sorry that I'm such a psyop. I apologize. My nickname is NASA, which means to deceive, apparently.
What is going on in this picture?
So this guy, for the purposes of my views on religion, I very much dislike this guy because he is he's a biblical literalist. He's very much a Trump supporter. He's very much just all the things that I tend to talk about in negative light on this channel. So let's see what he has to say about Trump portraying himself as Jesus. I bet you it might surprise even me.
Trump is...
Well, it won't surprise me because I pre-watched it, but I bet you it might surprise you because it surprised me. Or it might not surprise... you know what? Let's just stop talking about surprise.
Posing as Jesus. Now, if you followed me during election time, you know that I support Trump.
Yep, I do know that. I do know that you do that. Why are you... He has a fucking affiliate? Is this his thing? No, it's not. Is it? Oh my god, it is. This is his thing! You're not supposed to buy the Bible! You're not supposed to sell the Bible! That's a bad thing in Christianity. Well, can some other Christian, weigh in on this? Are you supposed to... I don't think you're supposed to sell the Bible. That's why the Gideons give it away for free. That's why when you go to a church, you can take the Bible home. You don't have to just leave the Bible there. They supply fresh Bibles all the damn time. You don't have to buy the Bible. Stop buying the Bible.
And I believe that his policies were the best for the Christians to support, as it allowed for Christian faith to be here in the U.S.
It was always here. It was always here. It was always the most popular religion. It's been the most popular religion since we established ourselves as a country. Since before we established ourselves as a country. It's been the most popular religion for several hundred years at this point. You can thank all the genocides and all the ethnic cleansing and the elimination of the people who believe other things for that. But it has absolutely been the most popular religion for several tens of generations at this point.
More than what the left is doing, and obviously the left has more demonic agenda.
See, if you believe an entire side of a political aisle is somehow demonic, not, I guess, accounting for the fact that more than 90% of those people, I am exaggerating a little bit, but I think it was something like 64% of people in the US, whether they're left or right, claim to be religious. And we can get into nuance about that, like, oh, you're not a real Christian, and then you can explain why, and if it sounds like a bunch of horse shit, then maybe they're not going to agree with you. Maybe all those Christians are going to just circle the wagons and leave you out. Sure, that's fine. But if you read the same Bible, if you practice the same teachings, if you go to the same churches, then you're just as Christian as the Republican sitting next to you. So being a content creator, or whoever this fucking guy is, if you are saying that an entire side of the political aisle is somehow demonic, then you hold no credibility or legitimacy whatsoever. And if you think somehow that Christianity hasn't been allowed in the US because of what the left are doing, you're again discounting all the fucking Christians on the left.
But we are not Republicans before we are Christians. We are not conservatives before we are Christians.
I mean, if you preach about it, you are. And that's not, you're not supposed to do that. Like, that's against Christianity. You're not supposed to preach for prosperity. You're not supposed to sell the Bible. And you're certainly not supposed to worship anyone other than God. And from the view that we've seen, hey, what's going on, Misha? For what we've seen from the Trump circle, it's pretty easy to look at those people like they worship him. There are plenty of people who have said that Trump is the second coming of Jesus, or that Trump is next to Jesus, or that Trump has been ordained by God or commanded by God to fulfill his new covenant. I've heard all sorts of different things about how Trump is somehow holy or divine. And then now they're distancing themselves? Fuck, man. It speaks to weak faith. It speaks to the fact that maybe these Christians are all just a bunch of, forgive my language, but pussy boys. Perhaps they just hold no solid faith of their own, and they capitulate to whoever seems to be the biggest or strongest in the room. At some point it was God. Right now it's Trump, but there seems to be some dissent, especially from people who I fervently disagree with,
And
which is, you love to see it. You know, you love to see it.
Picture is crazy. It looks as though everyone is looking to Trump. They are praying. The woman is praying to Trump, not praying for this sick person or dying person.
Yep.
Trump's hands are lighting up like he has some healing or supernatural power. There's weird angel military people in the sky. Like,
angel military people. I love it. I love it.
the whole thing is weird. It doesn't make sense. There's no context to it. And
For obvious reasons, Trump will never be Trump. I assume you mean Trump will never be Jesus. Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. What's up, Christopher? How's it going? I'm Christian, I see right through him. I think what is something that sets me on the same side as Christians, if for some reason in today's society, it is this thing. This is the moment where I finally agree with Christians, you know? So I think we're all on the same page on this one. But again, there's still plenty of people who are trying to excuse it by saying that, oh no, he was trying to let us know that there's something demonic happening. They're trying to explain it away, and they're trying to make it seem like, no, it was totally fine that he did this, even though he deleted it, and then he said, oh, I thought I was being portrayed as a doctor. He's healing Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's supposed to look like that. I think that it's people are at least interpreting it that way, and you know, I'm more power to them, I guess. Fuck. I don't want PDF files in heaven. I don't want guys like Adolf Hitler in heaven. You know, I don't want any of those guys in heaven. A real Christian sees right through his crap. Again, though, there are plenty of people who would call themselves real Christians who would say that you're not a real Christian if you don't support him. They call it Christian nationalism. Oh yeah. We've known for a while. Why can't Trump be Jesus? IDGAF, I thought it was funny. He's probably atheist. He's a performance Christian. Or a performative Christian. He's the type of guy who would, at the end of his life, go, "Oh God, please don't punish me," thinking that it's going to save him. And then he's also the kind of guy who would be like, I am just as religious as the next guy, okay? And I believe that it's my mission to do this, yada yada. It's not about actually being religious. He just uses it as a crutch. He uses it as a way to get more people to support him. And it's, the right is kind of one of those sides of the political aisle that have always kind of been, we are the side of Christians. We are the side of the religious. And that's more of an insult to them than it is to both parties, or the Democrats, I guess, because that's who they targeted against. But like, it's much more appropriate to say that everyone's religious, but you guys are doing bad work instead of saying that you guys are not Christians at all, or saying that you guys are all demons. That's all ridiculous. Like, you can't just call somebody unreligious because they're on a different political side than you. They may just support different policies. People like Kirsten Sinema and that other fucking dude who has the boats, they are both like centrist, right? And they call themselves like they're the center liberals, establishment liberals, and they want to do mostly conservative things. And that's like, I'm not criticizing the fact that someone can be of a certain side of the political aisle. That's okay. Like, be whatever political party you want, but don't go calling other people less religious than you because they chose a different political ideology than you did. That is hard to substantiate. You can't just paint an entire side of the country, arguably half of all voters, who would say that they praise Jesus, they follow the teachings of Jesus, they understand that he died for their sins, and they want to walk in the light of Jesus and all that kind of shit. I may not agree with them, but that is their right, and that is their right as human beings, and their right to practice their fucking religion, to be able to call themselves whatever religion they fully believe in and practice and adhere to and all that kind of shit. This is why I say, like, Christians who either deny or try to rewrite history to say that Hitler was not Christian are doing themselves a disservice. Like, they can say, well, he could have been Christian and he follows a lot of things that I don't agree with in the Bible. Like, I don't know. I doubt that he really gave much thought to the values of his Christian teachings, but he was proclaimed to be Christian. He instituted an entire national religion, and it was just Christianity. He had people in charge of that stuff. He didn't care much about the nuances of what was and what is important to Christians, what is important to like the teachings of Jesus, things like that. He didn't really care that much, but he still did it. He still went to church. He still practiced the faith. So if you're in heaven, if you go to heaven, if there is a real heaven, then you're going to be partying with Hitler. I mean, any serial killer who recanted on their deathbed, any death row inmate who had a chance to see the chaplain and repent, any of those things, you're pretty much going to see all those people up in heaven. I hope you're ready for that. I heard a speech where he said he was, I don't know if he was gaslighting or not, but he did say it. He has compared himself to Jesus many times. He said, I don't know, maybe I am like Jesus, because he feels like he freed slaves, or he feels like, he also says that he's better than Abraham Lincoln. He has specifically said on numerous occasions that he's done more for blacks than Abraham Lincoln. I don't know how you're going to substantiate that, because that's that's a hard claim. That's a real bold claim, let me tell you.
It's quite inappropriate, honestly. I have never said that I believe that Donald Trump is a true and genuine born-again believer. I don't. I just believe that he is opening up more of a way for the Christian faith, even if he's using it for his own political.
Now, I seem to remember this guy being pretty effusive when talking about Donald Trump being like next to godliness. So let me see. He's saying that because he don't drop reparations when they come to impeach him. Watch. He keeps promising money to people, but he hasn't given it away yet. He promised in 1776 to troops. He hasn't paid that. He took money away from TSA. Like, they're not even getting paid their full full back pay yet. He's not giving money out, so I wouldn't hold my breath for that. I'm gonna catch a couple of his things on Trump and see if he ever tries to say that he's religious in any way. I would love for him to disprove himself. And I love how his thumbnails are all really easy to to navigate. You waiting until the last possible second? Reparations will never come, man. I don't know. I wish they would. I think it's probably appropriate in a lot of circumstances, but I don't think they're ever going to happen. I just don't think they're going to happen. All right. Well, I found like one video with Trump on the thumbnail. I'm sure we can find another. Come on now. I know we can do it. Where's that boy at? Only gonna look a little bit longer, and if we don't find one, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the one that we found. Nope. I'm scanning real fast now. I might miss Trump if I do, let me know. It's all about my facial recognition, man. This is tough. I don't have face blindness or anything, but just looking at people's faces is like makes it more difficult. I'm usually pretty quick at these things, you know. Okay, fine.
Donald Trump just preached the God.
Trump is going to pull it off. It's going to offset the impeachment. I'm betting on it. I wouldn't be surprised that people who are trying to avoid accountability for things would try anything they can. That's why, you know, when the Epstein list was like at risk of being released and people were held accountable or whatever, he was saying that he was going to give like 1776 payments to people. He's going to give $2,000 checks to people. He's going to give a I was looking for an old one, yeah. I was looking for an old one to see if I can find him saying that Trump is religious, because he just said in this. No, stop!
What is going on in this picture appropriate, honestly? I have never said that I believe that Donald Trump is a true and genuine born-again believer.
He has never said, never ever, that Trump is a true born-again believer.
Gospel, watch.
On Good Friday, the Son of God
But
was
I'm pretty sure he has.
nailed to the cross, crucified, and he died for all of us.
You don't have to. His basic understanding of words or of concepts is extremely crazy. So Trump just never like paid it. He never learned anything. He's a bad learner. He's bad at rationalizing things. He doesn't understand most of the terms that people use. And so people have to treat him like a 3-year-old. So they treat him like a toddler. They put like what the word is, which is really funny. You can see that he's processing it in his mind while he reads something. So they're saying nailed to the cross in his speech as he's reading it, but in parentheses it'll say crucifixion. Like, and so he'll be like, yada yada yada, nailed to the cross, which that's called crucifixion. If anybody, if anybody needs that explained to them, it's like a sitcom. Like it's like a comedic sitcom. You can't fucking write that shit. He did sign some shit into law about Christians, though. What was that? An executive order, or was it signing a law about Christians, about Christianity? Was it this year? Donald Trump signs law, Christianity, 2026. Oh, Religious Freedom Day. Is that it? By virtue, authority, yada yada. That's Religious Freedom Day. Calling all Americans. Right. January 16th. What's wrong? Indelibly. He would never have used the word indelibly. Strengthen our natural spirit. This Religious Freedom Day, I pledge that I will never stop fighting to restore America as a nation of prayer, a country of faith, and a radiant beacon of liberty and justice for all. Gross. Zero commemorate American independence, blah, 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 blah. Bringing faith back to the public square, because I believe that the freedom of religion means the freedom to practice your religion proudly, publicly, and without fear of persecution. They always have been able to. There are people on the streets all the time talking about or trying to preach Christianity. You can practice your religion. Nobody is saying that you can't. Nobody ever in this modern day would say that you cannot practice the religion unless you are an opposing religion, that you cannot practice the religion that you feel you are called to practice. They don't mean Islam when they're saying freedom of religion. They don't mean Hinduism. They don't mean Sikh. They don't mean Taoism. They don't mean any of that. They don't mean Judaism. They only mean Christianity. If it doesn't involve Jesus, they do not believe that it should be allowed. Trump thinks he is Jesus. I agree, Adam. I agree. I think you're going to find a lot of agreeers in this particular stream. Yeah. So, and he talks about God. I mean, I don't know if you want to read this. Like it's really just the history of America essentially, but it's the sanitized version. It's like, you know, we're just saying that we want, you know, we want our religion to be free. That's all. But it's all about Christianity. It's not about any religion, because Christians essentially lead a holy war to like demolish all the other religions, which is, you know, I mean, that's kind of what happens when we legislate things like that we do nowadays. They say God. They don't say whatever God you want. They don't say your God. They don't say the God you choose. Nothing like that. All right, I'll look it up. Executive order eradicating anti-Christian bias. Go fuck yourself. So, imagine if you are a white man and you are the predominant skin color that seems to be in power of whatever municipality you're a part of, wherever you live, whatever. There's like, I don't know, it's like 60% white. Just there's the majority white people. And historically, all the other races have had marginalization. They've been diminished. They've been demonized, even propagandized against. And because of that history of pain and trauma, when that ends, when we as a whole society decide we're not going to do that anymore because that's not cool. It's very inhumane. It sucks. It's restrictive. It's limiting, and it's just not cool. It's not It's not empathetic. It's not equitable. It's not inclusive. Like that's stupid. That's racism. We shouldn't allow people to like oppress other people just because of the color of their skin. Sounds familiar, right? So we make laws that allow for people to be more free by restricting companies from discriminating against them, then and restricting like smaller businesses, big corporations, hiring practices, medical practices, you know, abortion care services, things like that. We make sure that people have equity in this country and that they feel like they're at home in the country that they call home, rather than strangers, which is the experience of all marginalized people. And so we create these laws. We create these laws like DEI, right? You had to know I was going there. We create things like affirmative action, where places are allowed to have whatever personal beliefs they want, but they're not allowed to legally discriminate against something, because that would then be the nation promoting discrimination or otherwise supporting it. And that's not cool, right? We don't want to be a nation of racists. At least most of us don't want to be that. So we enact these laws. And as a celebration for finally becoming a part of the entirety of the US, the entirety of this grand experiment, they finally decide, you know what, we've finally gotten to this equal part. We've been down here this whole time. We've finally got brought up. Just wages are still lower than our white counterparts. Creativity is still seen as lesser than our white counterparts, and people still see our music as gangster music. And we're just not quite there yet. but I think we've come far enough to say that we've entered a new era. And so they make a day to celebrate that achievement, that struggle. Imagine if a leader comes along and they decide, oh, well, you know what? I think that we should have a white celebration day. The people who oppressed all of those marginalized peoples. Same thing with Christians. That's exactly what this executive order was. That's all it is. And conservatives are swallowing it hook, line, and fucking center. Hook, line, and sinker. And it's really sad. Purpose and policies, policy yada yada. We're free to practice their faith without fear, discrimination, or retaliation by the government. This has not happened to Christians. This has not happened at any point in the country's history to Christians. Christians were always the dominant religion. Christians were always the ones who made the policies. Christians were always the one in charge of administrations, always the ones in charge of schools. And the clergy holds an authoritative position in people's lives in general as being the one intermediary between the guy, the silent partner who's credible, who doesn't take a pay cut, and human beings. And so you have to just kind of trust that they know what they're doing, that they have your best interests in mind when they make decisions that they do. And saying that you're not allowed to practice any other religion, whether it is by hook or by crook, whether you're trying to convert people actively or you're trying to implement shit like this into law, because that's what this is. If you followed my analogy that I made just a little bit ago, because that's the reality of slavery, or racism in our country, and if you followed that analogy, apply the same fucking logic to this. You cannot be a part of an oppressive religion who spent millennia genociding and ethnically cleansing and taking child brides and encouraging and supporting pedophilia and slavery, human trafficking. You cannot take that religion and say, oh, well, we're tired of being discriminated against, so I'm going to make a policy that says you have to respect Christianity. Is utterly fucking deranged. Utterly fucking deranged. And it's performance. That's all it is. He's not actually Christian. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Christians. He doesn't give a fuck about you, Christians. He doesn't give one single shit about you. If he thinks he's Jesus, he's probably the fucking Antichrist, according to your own book. According to your own book. I'm just taking your book. I'm looking at it. I'm just taking a book look. I'm taking a book look, put it back in the nook. Take it out of the nook, take a look at the book. Then you close the book, and then you put it right back in the nook. That's how book nooks work. That's how taking a look at book nooks work. That's why I get confused at black fatigue comments. Well, that's yes. It's been propagandized against to be woke, right? And conservatives still cannot define what woke is, when all it has ever been is being aware of modern racism and wanting that to change. That's all it has ever been. It's never been a way to restrict anyone's rights. It's never been a way to proselytize a new way of life to anybody. All it is wanting equality for your brothers and sisters across the fucking nation, and hoping that the further generations can bring equity for them as well. That's all it is. There is no such thing as black fatigue because there's still fucking racism. There's still racism in the country, and it's still targeted at blacks. Have you heard, there's as recent as a year ago, and I still can't fucking believe this is real, but as of recent as a year ago, there was a team in Washington of girls softball who, when a black girl came up to the I think it was t-ball even, maybe not t-ball, but when a black girl came up to the plate, she started hearing fucking monkey noises from the opposing team. I was sent into the fucking stratosphere. The fact that level of racism against blacks still exists casually. Just casually. And I've been living in my lily white fucking world. I grew up in a black neighborhood, but you know what I'm saying? I've been living in my lily white ivory tower, just not realizing that this was still a thing. And it's that makes me sad, man. Fuck. Why can't people just stop? So now this is from a year ago, but it depicts how religious Donald Trump is, okay? So if you as a Christian have any doubts whether or not Trump is Jesus, I urge you to watch this, okay? I urge you to watch. Just watch it. Feel the spirit. Now remember, she sounds drunk here, so you can probably already tell. But this is, I think, Paula White. Because she's his, like, personal spiritual leader. It would be weird if you found a pastor that was not Paula White. But this is the one that was saying, like, and the angels are coming out of Egypt, and the angels are coming out of Iraq, and the angels are coming out of Saudi Arabia, and the angels are coming out of Israel, and the angels are coming out of Texas. That was this lady.
We secure his family, his children, his...
Does she not sound drunk? I hope she had a stroke, but she sounds drunk.
...calling and everything that pertains to what you have called him to carry out. And I ask for divine visitations, faith, and for freedom, and for religion, God. And most of all...
For freedom and for religion. Apparently there's only one religion.
For our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we give you all the
This
praise
brings
and
me
all the
so much joy.
Last night you mentioned that the other team are vessels. But I want you to know, and we want you to know, we believe you're a vessel.
Ah. Well, wouldn't you know? Now it feels like, not, again, I am only a simple man. I am but a simple man with simple needs. But if I had a group of people around me telling me that I was holy on no uncertain terms, telling me that I was a vessel for the Lord's light, would it be that far off for me to declare myself Jesus Christ? Especially if I was a greedy man, a petty man, a toddler of a man. Probably. Especially if people are saying, I think he's the second coming of Jesus. Probably.
You're a chosen vessel. That's a Bible verse in the book of Acts that said Paul was a chosen vessel. And we're praying for God's blessing on your life.
I could chirp whatever Trump did. No, I don't care. Anybody that puts Jesus in front of millions, gives the glory to Jesus in front of millions.
So this is the type of person I think that Trump really respects, as stupid people. You know, if you look at this clip and you think that Trump is putting Jesus in front of people, I gotta wonder what's going on in that. Is there just a hamster spinning around on a running wheel? Is that all that's inside your head right now? Because to me this looks like blasphemy. To be fair, to me this looks like a holy ritual for a man who is a political leader, which Jesus was not too fond of. Declaring him essentially the spokesman for Christianity for America. I would say blasphemous. I would say it's a little blasphemous. I would not support this were I a Christian individual.
In front of the whole entire world, I respect it, bro. Like I said, I don't agree with everything. Yes, there's certain things that don't align.
Is it the 34 felonies? Is it the credible Is it the credible grape accusations by 13-year-olds? Is it the 300,000 mentions in the Epstein files, often depicting him as like a best friend to Donald Trump? Is it his comments about women? Is it his comments about disabled people? Is it his comments about other races? Is it his comments about children? Is it the way that he acts around children? Is it his divorces? Is it his, burying his wife on his fucking golf course? What things exactly, or is his policies? We haven't gotten to his policies. What is it exactly about Donald Trump that you disagree with, that this makes it okay? That this is like, you know what, it warms my heart to know that a guy that I disagree with so much on so many different things is himself a Jesus guy. So I forgive him for all this stuff. He's probably repenting too, Chosen one. Who said Trump was a chosen one? This dude. The preacher that's talking to Trump, saying he's a fucking vessel. And trying to steal LeBron trademark. You name G, chosen one. Well, they call it King James, right? I mean, that's also blasphemous if you're a Christian. But, he followed me once on Twitter, so I have to like him now, right?
But at the end of the day, he's giving Jesus the glory in front of millions.
No,
And
not Trump.
millions-
Trump is not giving Jesus the glory. Trump gives himself the glory. I don't know if you've ever actually like looked at him or listened to him speak, but he tends to give himself a lot of credit for stuff.
No, I ain't got a lot.
So yeah, this is Trump's chosen people, the uneducated, the dumb, the stupid, the people who take a look at him and think that looks like a strong man. LeBron has chosen one tattooed on him, so it should be trademarked. You can't don't trademark chosen one because then religious people can't use it anymore.
As much as
The religious got to be able to use that shit, you know.
It was a day of darkness, but it was.
Okay, he says Trump may not be a Christian, but he's promoting it. Okay.
All right, so
let me just hijack him real quick. We've been calling Braun chosen one since 03. Yep, but people have been calling Jesus the chosen one for a couple thousand years at this point, okay? So you're going to have to cede to them a little bit. You know, I ain't going to get in the middle of that fight, but they're going to want to talk to you about it. I don't think anyone's tried to copyright it yet. I don't think you can copyright just a random phrase unless it's like actually a business, like the title of a business. So we're going to listen to Glenn Beck. Fuck. I used to hear Glenn Beck on the radio, oh my God, like all the damn time. I think it was either my mom or my father-in-law who listened to him. But he used to listen to him because he disliked him, and then my mom would listen to him because she agreed with him. She also used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. Super cool. Jesus never dunked in those sandals. I mean, yeah, but Christians are like, there are a lot of them. You know, there are a lot more Christians than there are LeBron fans. Although, if you've ever watched LeBron play, I would assume that it's a very tight margin. All right.
here's the Washington Post. President Donald Trump's posting of a rendering that appeared to depict him as Jesus drew a rare criticism from the...
Jesus. So the thing that I really don't like about a lot of conservative commentators is that they always seem to have this voice. It's always the kind of voice that you would hear and you would listen to it and you'd be like, oh my God, just please swallow whatever's in your mouth. It obviously is causing you trouble when you're trying to speak complete sentences and you must be spitting all over that goddamn microphone. But please, maybe if you could just swallow your spit for just a little bit and take a breath and maybe take a breath and catch your breath and then try to not breathe like that and then try not to talk like that. And then maybe you could actually get a good sentence out and people might actually listen to you, because then it doesn't sound like you've got a mouthful of fucking marbles. They always have the same fucking voice.
The religious right, prompting calls for him to take down the post and allegations of blasphemy. Shortly after posting a screed against Pope Leo on Sunday night as he returned
Joining Braun team. Okay, I mean, hey, more power to you.
to Washington from Florida, Trump shared an image that appeared to be AI generated in the style of a painting depicting him in a long white robe. One hand was an orb glowing with light. Trump's other hand rested on the forehead of a man what resembled a hospital bed, light beaming from the man's head as Trump appeared to pray for his healing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Do you not agree? What do you see different? What do you see differently here? That's it. They're just describing the picture. You don't have to say it with such disdain. Like they're all just describing the picture. They're just describing what the picture looks like. That's it. That's all it is. I understand that a lot of people like come out the gate hot with this, especially commentators, especially talking heads like this guy. He's going to try to debunk this. He's going to try and say like, you know, oh no, it's all fine. He was warning us about something in the future. He was warning us about impending blasphemy or doom or something like that. And he had to catch our attention. That's all it was. Right. Is that Jon Stewart or Epstein? Well, a lot of people are saying it's Epstein. Jon Stewart in his report on Monday, he was like, or I guess yesterday, he was like, that looks kind of like me. It's like, that looks exactly like me. He joked a lot about it. It was very good.
Bad luck, Mr. President. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I want to use this to explain the most powerful weapon ever put in the hands of people. And it...
You see, he said initially, bad move, Trump, you know, don't do that. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to decipher the hidden meaning of what Trump actually really meant to be saying here.
It's not a nuclear weapon. To get there, let me start with what happened over the weekend. Over the weekend, 21 hours, Pakistan, the talks collapsed. Iran's not giving up.
Okay, he's just used a bunch of buzzwords there. 21 hours, Pakistan collapse. 21 Hours is that the Benghazi film with John Krasinski? I think he was in that. And, okay. I don't think that a Benghazi thing happened. But also, the Pakistan and talks collapsing. Pakistan was never something that Trump was involved in the first place. They have said numerous times that Trump was never involved in the peace talks, and them collapsing doesn't mean anything either, because Pakistan and India have been in a constant state of agreeing and then collapsing, agreeing and then collapsing. It's just par for the course right now in that region. And a good president would have gone and just stopped the constant back and forth and maybe said, like, can't we come to an era of peace before we get, too bogged down into whose God is right again,
Up their nuclear program, they, won't give up their proc.
They did not have a nuclear program. All credible accounts have declared that they did not have a working nuclear program at any point, especially after the Iran-Contra. It's all just propaganda.
Seas or control of the Straits of Hormuz. I explained this all in hour 1 if you missed that.
They did that in retaliation of Trump taunting them and bombing their leader into oblivion. I would assume that most countries would have done something like that. If you're doing oil deals with the rest of the world, and the country that more or less represents the rest of the world, they're the most powerful country in the world, they come and they bomb you and they kill your leader, and then they tell you, go fucking suck a nut. As far as like, okay, well, can we get a new leader? Can we repair things like that? No, they tell you to go suck a nut. And so then you're just like, all right, fine. Okay, fine. Well, you guys depend on this for your economy. Go fuck yourself. And then they close the Strait of Hormuz. There you go. It's a very natural progression. Let's just leave. How about that? Bring our guys home. Yeah. Maybe don't bomb it in the first place just because you want some oil. Glenn kisses the wall. Keep that in mind as you listen to him. Oh, I know. Believe me, I've been listening. I haven't been listening to Glenn Beck, but I've been hearing Glenn Beck's words for 30 years now. 40 years
really
now. Over 40 years.
On what happened and why it's happening. President Trump didn't blink. He just ordered the U.S. Navy to blockade it, starting right now. Mines were being cleared over the weekend. Tankers will be escorted, but the lanes that Iran says everybody has to use, he is blocking those. Okay? So what's...
You can't fire me. I quit.
What's coming here? Tomorrow, the next day, Navy warships are going to be stopping ships that try to pay the illegal toll for Iran, if that happens. Oil tankers.
You mean countries that are still trying to function? Because that's like their main form of economy? I mean, we're just trying to make friends everywhere, aren't we?
So rerouting, they're slowing down. As I showed you in hour 1, they are actually rerouting to the United States. Prices at the gas pump are going to go up. They're already jumping. I mean, expect another 50 cents or maybe even $1 in the next week or so if it drags on. Groceries, diesel truck, all of that is going to...
And, I mean, those are two things that he campaigned on, was lower gas prices and no new wars. He ain't got your best interests at heart. I wonder whose best interests he has in mind, but certainly not ours.
Go up. It's not good. It's not good. Heating oil. God bless you if you're in the Northeast. How are you affording this? Your 401k. It's going to take a little bump in the road probably. This isn't somewhere else.
I mean, Glenn Beck, ever on the fence of morality, just on the side of evil, is always so like ambiguous about the meaning of things, not the meaning of things, but like how things are going to result. And he did the same thing with fucking Bush. Like he was like, you know what? Things are going to be bad for a little while, but they're going to even out. It's going to be fine. It's going to be totally fine. New war fueling rising gas prices. Well, yeah.
This is your grocery run, your commute, your kids' soccer fees. And Iran knows that. Iran knows that.
Oh, so what he's doing is he's turning it around and saying that it's really Iran's fault for the fact that our gas prices are going up. Okay, if they hadn't been developing nuclear weapons, Trump wouldn't have had to bomb them. Aside from the fact that, like, every credible source is saying that they were not in the process of creating nuclear weapons. But okay.
That's the bet they're making. I said earlier in the show, what do they have that they think they can beat the United States? Because we're wiping them out. We're cleaning their clock on the field of battle. What do they have? It's not missiles. It's what they see when they look at us through social media. Iran sees a divided America.
No, wars cannot be won on cyber warfare alone. That's some wag the dog bullshit that is not ever going to be the case for us, because we don't launch disinformation campaigns when we choose to bomb someone. We simply bomb them. We could do that as an alternative. We could be the cyber terrorists of the world, but we don't choose that. We choose to bomb other countries and kill their leaders because we can. Like that's it. There is no power to social media unless people start acting on behalf of it. And if Iran is trying to push social media that says that I don't know what propaganda they're trying to say that Iran is. Well, maybe he'll say
exhausted America, 20 years of forever wars. They see an America that's ready to turn on itself the second price of gas goes up. They see social media turning every clip into a weapon, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
But you're not describing how, and you're not describing in what ways. It's important to be specific when you're talking about how social media and AI can affect the zeitgeist, because there is a very clear formula. Not a clear formula, but there's a very apparent formula that comes up when you talk about how social media can affect people in reality. Like, I know that in theory, it's easy to say that social media affects the masses, but it's really passive. It affects, like, maybe you'll go out and buy a Stanley mug, but it's not going to, a call to action isn't going to work unless the people are behind it. And over half the voters voted for this. So their propaganda is not going to work against the people who are already being hoodwinked. I keep wanting to say hoodswinked, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's important to understand that Iran has no power here. We are the most powerful nation on earth. We can go into other countries and just kill their leaders, and we've proven that in the last year. You know, I think that it's crazy to say that, oh, well, a country's power against us is this, and then describe something that's completely nebulous. Social media affects kids domestically. Like, when you talk about something that's happening in another country, a kid's going to swipe away. They don't give a shit. I mean, it's sure, there's some accessory kids who will give a shit, but those are few and far between. It's mostly people who are talking about Labubus, talking about, and if anyone out there who has kids, you know this more than I do, because I don't have kids. I just have friends with kids, but they don't give a shit about foreign policy. So most kids are brain rotted. They're in TikTok all the time, but they're looking at like dance videos. They're looking at like Labubu shit. They're looking at unpackaging. They're looking at unboxing stuff. They're looking at like memes. They're not like politically active until, like, mostly until people reach like college age. That's when they start to leave their home and start to leave their previous ideologies behind and enter new worlds of like freedom and education. That's why Republicans and conservatives don't enjoy kids getting college educations, because it encourages them to be more open-minded. They like when campuses can be inundated with red policies and with red ideologies, but it's few and far between as far as that's concerned too, where you'd find a college like that. But like, social media is not a weapon that another country can use. Russia's been trying it for a long time. China's been trying it. Other countries have been trying it, and it doesn't work the way that these talking heads are claiming that it does.
I told you this 2 weeks ago. Recent research from a private intelligence firm tracking this exact conflict shows that 60% of the most viral posts on X about Iran in the first weeks of the fighting came from accounts based outside of the U.S.
God forbid that another country, that people who live in another country have an opinion on this. It must be some disinformation campaign. What fucking disingenuous bullshit.
Foreign accounts generated 155 million views compared to 93 million from real American viewers. That's not organic outrage. Okay, that's,
you know that there's more people in the rest of the world than live in the US, and when they get information on their feeds, it's usually either from their home country or from surrounding countries, which we don't have that. We only have one to the above us and one below us, and that's it. So we don't see a lot of, I mean, we see a lot of Canadian like social media news and stuff, but we don't see a lot of like Mexican stuff, Mexican news, Mexican social media, because we aren't surrounded by a bunch of different countries where we get easy access to that in our feed. It's mostly just American stuff. Especially like countries that don't have their own sort of like metropolitan civilizations, like countries that are still, what are they called? Forming countries, developing countries. developing countries don't have the same infrastructure that we have, and therefore not the same both access to social media and the same presence posting on social media. You're going to see people with more more data centers that are going to be posting more on social media. Like, it really is a very natural thing to see people who live outside commenting on things inside the nation. That's a weird point. It's a weird talking point.
Iran, that's Russia, that's China, flooding the zone with deep fakes, doctored images of sunken ships, scripted narratives designed to make us fight one another. The State Department just sent
are you talking about the fact that it's all about foreign policy? Because I can tell you I can tell you with a good amount of surety, with good amount of sureness, that I don't think most people give a shit about foreign policy. I think that's kind of one of the problems with activism today, is that we mostly just care about what happens in our own country, and we don't care much about what happens. I mean, we do. The people who live here, who have lived in those cultures or who are familiar with the goings on over there, they are the ones who protest, but it's not the majority of the country. I kind of wish that we all knew a lot more about foreign policy than we currently do, just collectively as a country. But there's enough stuff going on here at home,
Send a cable to every embassy. Push back against this coordinated propaganda from Tehran, Moscow, and Beijing. Okay? This isn't a theory. This is actually happening right now. And they don't care if you love Trump or hate Trump. You love the...
I mean, a lot of that was oversimplified and a lot of it was exaggerated, but I guess the discourse over it is happening right now.
Blockade, or you question the blockade. They just need everybody at each other's throats. That's it. They need everybody...
I mean, Trump is quite a proponent of that. He's perpetuating a lot of it. Including most of the misinformation that people tend to consume. So, I mean, the same could be said for Trump, as well as just content creators here in the U.S. Like, there's plenty of us here that are trying to be they're trying to be like a talking head, like Glenn Beck. No one cares about foreign policy, in my opinion. We all think that what we all think espionage is. Most people don't care about things that happen outside their country. And like I said, I wish that was more of a dinner table issue, but I mean, it's not, and I'm not trying to make it. But it would certainly help us when it comes to the discourse surrounding foreign matters, because then we wouldn't be susceptible to people making this shit up, which they do constantly. It's just they don't care. They don't think that anybody's going to research it. They don't think that anybody's going to verify any of the things that they're saying. But Iran hasn't been developing a nuclear weapon since the 70s or the early 80s or some shit.
Everybody screaming that the other side is a traitor, that one side is weak and the other is anti-American. Whatever it is, they don't care. They don't care. Anti-war voices calling pro-Israel voices neocon warmongers. MAGA influencers turning on each other. That's why I don't talk about that war. I'll talk about it in principles, but I'm not going to get involved calling out names and telling you who you should hate, because you shouldn't hate.
Our government cares more about the world than their own citizens. Yeah. They do.
Hate any of them. Because this is all...
Because it's oil that's going to make them rich. It's not like developing social programs, and it's not developing infrastructure, and it's not repairing things that have been broken. It's gaining new accesses to funds. That's the only way you're going to get more rich.
Manufactured. Podcast, viral clips on both extremes, pushing the exact same emotional buttons, so we accuse each other instead of the regime.
And I heard about Stuxnet when I was in my teens. It's all crazy. I don't know what that is. Stuxnet Nem.
In Tehran, that is funding the terror, funding the dreams of chaos. We used to call this the fog of...
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the United States of America is the premier funder, the premier supporter, the premier enabler of terrorism worldwide. We are the chief supplier of all modern terrorism. We are the ones who facilitate it, and we do the regime change, and we invade countries, and we kill their leaders, and we completely upset the entire balance of their governments, and then we don't do anything to help them. We've been doing that for a very long time now. So America is the #1 state sponsor, or sponsor of state terrorism throughout its history. Even like early on in our development, like the Spanish-American War, the Mexican War, like we do the expansion, we do the colonizing, we do the terrorism, we do that shit. Google Stuxnet. How do you start? Stuxnet is a highly sophisticated nation-state sponsored cyber weapon discovered in 2010, designed to covertly sabotage Iran's nuclear program by damaging centrifuges at the Natanz enrichment facility. See what I'm saying, man? Like, this is the real conspiracy. Like, I wish that we cared enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish it was a big enough dinner table issue that we would just know whether or not somebody's lying. Like, Iran is not making fucking nuclear weapons. I'm gonna let this play, but I am gonna shut off my face cam. And if you've ever been here to my streams before, you know that I'm not leaving, that I'm not trying to deny you my pretty face. I am simply about to smoketh the cannabis. I use it as medical treatment. However, if you smoke it recreationally, please feel free to join and sync up if you'd like. I am going to leave the video to play. I will be back. I'm going to count it down before I do it. All that kind of stuff. So enjoy and get ready to smoketh a big fat bowl
of war. But in the social media age, this is much more powerful than fog, and I believe more powerful than any nuclear weapon. I've been warning about this dynamic.
More powerful than any nuclear weapon. I'm going to call bullshit on that one. Social media is not more powerful than a nuclear weapon. Jesus Christ.
For years, the 12er ideology lets them endure.
All right, we are going to go in 3, 2, 1. Smoke them if you got them. Cheers. I'll be right back.
Just lob a few accusations out there. Make it look like it's coming from each other here in America. And just wait, it's a time bomb. They watched our weariness in Iraq, our divisions after Afghanistan. They think time and higher gas prices are going to do what their Navy could never do. Sound familiar? Should. It should. This is what happened with the Barbary Pirates. Barbary Pirates, North African Muslim states, backed by the Ottoman Empire, seizing American ships, enslaving our sailors, demanding tribute. Jefferson said, I'm not paying anymore. Because 20% of our budget was going to the Muslim pirates. So, we built a Navy.
Muslim pirates. Just gotta really, like, hammer in how godless and unchristian these pirates are. They're Muslims, so if you know anyone who's Muslim, make sure to accuse them of being fucking pirates while you're talking shit about their religion. Please feel free. There's just as much pedophilia in Christianity as there is in Islam.
And the Marines, we sent...
I don't want to get dragged for saying that. No, actually, I don't care. Pedophilia is present in both the Bible and Islam, so go fuck yourselves.
over there, and there was propaganda too. Some people wanted to keep paying, others screamed it would drag us into an endless war.
And he's accusing Iran of being the one who's driving up gas prices? Are you fucking stupid? Now, I know Glenn Beck is stupid, but I just feel like I have to ask that. I really, if I ever was to meet the man in real life, I'd be like, are you stupid? Like, that'd probably be the first thing that I ever said to him. Are you stupid? Glenn, it's so nice to meet you. I'm so happy to finally be able to ask you this. Are you stupid? Or maybe I would punctuate it with a fucking, you know, just to make it sound more insistent. Glenn, are you fucking stupid? Glenn, are you fucking dumb? Glenn, did you eat paint chips when you were younger to make you this fucking stupid? And he would probably like say something like, "Oh no, I'm not stupid," or "What makes you think I'm stupid?" And then it would be obvious that he's just dishonest. So you're not fucking stupid. So you're probably just being dishonest then. Why are you a propagandist, Glenn?
War. I mean, all of this has happened before. We've been here before, gang. And foreign agents and domestic voices tried to divide us then, but we held the line. We chose...
He's talking about the Cold War. That's how fucking old he is. He's talking about the fucking Cold War.
Strength with principle. We won without becoming an empire, and the Republic survived. That's the history peg we need right now.
Oh no, he's talking about World War II. He's going even further back. What the fuck?
But we have to be aware. We have to look.
I know a taco is food, but in the meme sense. What's the taco thing? Oh, you mean in terms of Trump? I actually don't know what taco Trump means. I wish I did, because then I'd be in on the joke, and I'm too scared to ask at this point.
At what? We have to look at social media differently. We have to be able to.
You could probably
spot
just Google it. I could Google it too, but I feel stupid doing this.
Like I said, they don't care if you're pro or against. They need both sides screaming at each other, okay? So I pulled...
But he's framing all of this as Iran. He's saying Iran needs both sides screaming at each other. But he's not acknowledging the fact that our own fucking backyard is where a lot of that division is coming from. Like it's Trump's comments. Like if only you would just support Trump, then we'd all get along. Yeah, that's coercion. That's a threat. You not see it as a threat? That's a threat. If you don't get along, we're enemies. That's a threat. Come on, my guy. My guy.
From X over the weekend. And in the last 24, 48 hours, since the blockade was announced and the talks in Islamabad fell apart, what was there? What were the tweets? What were the most popular tweet?
Islamabad? Is that a city in Iran? It's a very religious name.
Okay. I found tweets that matched exactly the pattern flagged in the recent reports. Okay, that the IRGC operatives, the state-affiliated accounts.
I found tweets. So you didn't do some like research, you didn't do some deep research, try to figure out like where the source of all this information is coming from, whether it's disinformation or misinformation, or if it's a campaign, or if they're coordinated or whatever. You pulled some tweets from X. Now, why the fuck are they still calling them tweets? That's a real big question of mine. Why the fuck are we still calling them tweets if we're not still calling it Twitter? I'll always call it Twitter. To play on him changing his mind in Mexico, some shit, so they made him a taco meme every time he says he's going to do something and doesn't at least think something like that. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I'd like to know the full context, because, like, how do you get from saying that he's feckless to like, calling him a taco? Because I would probably laugh. I would probably find that a hilarious progression.
Posing as Americans or neutral observers while pushing content that is doing nothing but explode.
See, he very effortlessly folds in a qualifier there that covers pretty much all the bases, where he says, posing as an American or objective observer. That covers his ass, so he can't like accuse any one person of being like a state-sponsored like anti-information operative.
Exploiting our divisions. Let me give you a few examples of these. Okay, these are 12 hours, tens of thousands of likes. Okay, the first one is from the I can't remember.
That's fucking chump change.
Remember, one of the state officials, I think the prime minister or the foreign minister of Iran.
I'm pretty sure there are posts that get like millions of likes within hours.
As soon as those things fell apart, and he gets home to Iran, what does he tweet? He tweets a picture of the price of gasoline around Washington, D.C. Now, why would he care about the price of gasoline in Washington, D.C.? Why would he tweet that? Do you think his people care? That was directed to you. That was to you.
I mean, I've texted people that I'm friends with to like tell them something that I did to somebody that's funny. I wouldn't be above posting, like, if I was proud of gas prices in America going up, like if I was some kind of state, if I didn't like the U.S. and I was visiting the U.S., if I had to do that for like work or whatever, and I saw that their gas prices were rising and I found that funny, I wouldn't mind posting it on social media, like as kind of an own, or like, oh, hey, look what the stupid Americans have to do now. So it's not above reasoning that this person could have just been trying to like express some whatever blatant disregard or dislike for America. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. That's not disinformation. That's not propaganda, though. If it said, like, as an American citizen, it makes me fucking chapped to my goddamn eyeballs to see what's happening in the country today. God bless fucking Trump, and may his reign never end. But he's not saying that. He's simply saying that they just posted a picture.
You, okay? This is a gun
of gas prices of a gas pump in America.
And we don't let our kids have guns, right? We keep it in a safe, keep it locked up, keep guns.
What the fuck, Glenn? Glenn, are you really comparing a tweet to a gun? He's comparing a tweet to a gun. Let's rewind, because I paused it, so you may not have caught the whole thing. But let's really let this sink in.
That was directed to you.
Hang on.
Why would he care? He tweets a picture of fell apart, and he gets home to Iran. What does he tweet? Iran one is from the I can't remember, one of the state officials, I think the prime minister or the foreign minister of Iran.
The foreign minister of Iran, who was in Washington, D.C., gets home to Iran and posts a picture during all this stuff when tensions are high, and then posts a picture of American gas prices. Is that not a fuck you, America? Is that not simply a fuck you, America? Is that not simply one of those? Why are you bending over backwards to try and make this into some fucking like conspiracy where they're trying to, they take a random picture of gas prices and then they post it in order to destabilize the nation? Seriously? Glenn, are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking stupid? Is there any nuts in that noggin? Gas prices won't make people change shit. They will take, and they can take as many pictures as they want. I can't stop them bombs either way, high gas or low. Well, they're not sending bombs over here. That's for damn sure. They're just going to try and get the embassies. Like, a foreign official taking a picture of gas pumps and posting it as like a, well, at least they have to deal with this while your country's burning, I think is warranted, and not some state-sponsored propaganda to further destabilize the U.S. Trump is doing just fine on his own doing that. What a fucking weirdo. What a fucking weirdo. He's only gotten weirder since I was hearing him on the radio when I was a kid.
As soon as those things fell apart and he gets home to Iran, what does he tweet? He tweets a picture of the price of gasoline around Washington, D.C. Now, why would he care about the price of gasoline in Washington, D.C.? Why would he?
Because our country is bombing his into the ground and claiming that it's because of something that isn't oil-based.
Tweet that. You think his people care?
That's why.
That was directed to you. That was to you.
It may have been a fuck you to us, yeah. But it's not some state-sponsored fucking propaganda meant to destabilize America, because one tweet won't fucking do that.
Okay? This is a gun. And we don't let our kids have guns, right? We keep it in a safe, keep it locked up, keep guns out of the hands of children. Why? Because they think it's a toy. They don't understand it is a lethal weapon.
Unless you actually parent them and you sit them down when they're old enough to understand these concepts, and I guess you can probably judge that based on your public school, your educated teacher who can tell them that they're old enough to understand these concepts, unless you're a homesteader and you homeschool and you're like super conservative, like libertarian piece of shit. Point being that you could sit them down and you can have a talk with them and say, you know, listen, kid, you're getting older, and as you get older, you're going to start to see people taking on new things like guns and fishing and, you know, teen video games and shit like that. You're going to start to see a lot more of the world, and some of it may be unsafe. And if I want to be a good dad, I got to let you know that things like weapons are not necessarily things that I'm going to encourage you to use on people, but you might have to find yourself in a situation where you end up using one in self-defense. And if I want to be a good dad, I want to make sure that I'm at least teaching you the basic understanding of what these things are. So, have you ever fired a gun before? Come on, son. Tell your old man. Have you ever popped a gat? Have you ever popped a strap? Have you ever rolled up and went blah, blah, blah? Be honest with your old man, son. Okay? I want to know if you've been rolling up on the hood, going blah, blah, blah. Okay, son? But yeah, social media should not be locked up and kept away from, I mean, I definitely kept away from kids, but it shouldn't be locked up. Like, that's weird. That's a weird concept. I mean, I think it's brain rot, and I think that it shouldn't be around kids, but I can accept that it is, and I can accept that they're going to start being exposed to whatever the fuck content that they're going to be exposed to, whatever the fuck age they're going to be exposed to it. And if we as conscientious members of society want to protect kids, then we have to do it in response or in preparation. So if they're younger, then you have to say there's such a thing as sex, and it's going to be pushed in your face from a very young age, and you got to try and like be rational and reasoned about things, and then maybe send them to like a sex ed when they're old enough, you know, that kind of thing. Like, education is what prevents all the bad shit that conservatives are afraid of, which is like so back-ass word that it definitely is hard for a stupid person to wrap their head around as I say the word arounds. I'm not stupid. Okay, I promise. I promise I'm not stupid. I swear. I S to G. All right? I STG. All right? Don't come at me.
So they can kill others or themselves because they think it's a toy. Well, what do you think social media is? It is a weapon.
It's a source of information for people in both circumstances and areas where they can't receive essential information for just the world around them. It's an avenue. It can be a tool. It can be used for bad. It can be used to like fulfill whatever dark taboo fetish people have. It can also be used to show the beauty of, you know, the Himalayas. It can also be used to show the beauty of the Alsatian Valley. Like there's a lot of things that social media can be used for, both positive and negative, and that's why it is mostly a tool that people use. So calling it a gun is really fucking stupid. Like the height of the most incredibly, like the height of stupidity for the most incredibly uneducated and thoroughly just unaware man. Or he's being dishonest. He's being dishonest. Although I'm so sure that at this point Glenn Beck fully believes his own tripe. But he's been dishonest since I was a child. So there's a strong basis that he might be being dishonest in this particular case as well. Strong basis.
It's a weapon. And yet we let our kids play with it. They think it's a toy. It's not there to teach you. It's not there to make your life easier or you to understand the world or make you stronger.
No, yeah, it helps you understand the world. That is one thing that is true, and it could make somebody stronger if someone who is a content creator is offering advice that helps them. Sure, absolutely. Not without the outside of the realm of
social media exists to enrich the companies that provide social media. Now,
sure. But that's our choice. We made that happen. We could have passed the laws that put restrictions on corporations that allow them to grow beyond their means, and we're the ones that put those laws forward. We are the ones who can repeal those laws. If you're gonna be mad, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, like you should hate the game. You should hate the system that they set up. You should want to try and reform that system, and you should want to try to repair society through reform, which is a form of progression, which is like moving forward in history. You know, that's how we came up with all those cool innovations. That's why we've been promised flying cars and we've been denied flying cars thus far. I want a flying car. He's demonized in social media as he's using social media. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Now, they can say they're going to help you.
I'm certainly demonizing.
But I guarantee you their main goal is to enrich themselves. And they do everything they can. This is all proven. This is how we don't think of this. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's proven. Some of it in court.
You're just describing capitalism. So, no, it's not a conspiracy theory. I don't think it ever has been. I think people who are smarter than you have always known that corporations serve only to enrich themselves. That's why they exist. I don't think that a small business is going to be responsible for creating the entire internet. So there is some necessity to larger funded operations, but we should be funding those as a government. The whole entire internet should be run by a ethical government. I fully believe, like, it should be a utility, a public utility, and that should be regulated by a fair and ethical government. So that's just what I believe. I don't know. Call me fucking crazy, but it seems like it really shouldn't just be down to a few monopolies. Fuck off, corporations.
Some of it in front of Congress. They spent millions of dollars trying to figure out ways to enslave you, to get you to.
He cedes to the power that he's talking about. The elite, the conservative Christian, the people that supply him with his lifestyle, meaning like the people who pay him his money, he depends on that. So he's again trying to do extreme mental gymnastics to tell you that external actors from outside the US are launching propaganda campaigns by single tweets that are meant to destabilize the US and support division between parties. That's it's a take. It is a take, and he's really trying to frame it as not a conspiracy theory, but it's very much sounding like one. And it's a surface level one. It's, again, the kind that a stupid man like Glenn Beck would probably come up with. So I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Never get off of their social media platform. Meanwhile, what are they doing? They're collecting information about you so they can get better at shaping you, because that's what it's about. Social media doesn't make things easier. Huge global power shapes you, your opinion, and the world we all live in.
Who's in power right now? Who's the leader of your country right now? Who's making the policy right now? Who's the one launching fucking disinformation camp? Okay, maybe like not the biggest ones, but you know what I'm saying? Like we're doing just as much espionage shit as they are. My ear itches. It's the government coming for me.
That's what's happening. It is the greatest propaganda tool of all time. And now we're at war. And now you're noticing it. If you're smart, you're noticing it. This is a 50 caliber machine gun aimed at your...
Did we not invent social media? Wasn't the first social media like AOL, Time Warner Telecom bullshit? What is CSS? Not the CSS. HTTP forums. I mean, we invented social media. So, like, I don't know what you're claiming here, Glenn. Are you claiming that the people who invented social media are the people who run social media, or what? Because right now it sounds like you're just talking about a couple of individual actors who, I don't mean actors like people who act. I mean actors like people who do things on behalf of organizations. Right now it seems like you're talking about one single actor who didn't achieve much. Tens of thousands of likes in a couple of days. That's not a lot. Or you're talking about, other countries launching destabilization campaigns, which there doesn't really seem to be much proof of. You haven't offered actual tweets. He's just saying, I saw a tweet. He's not saying anything like, here's a bunch of screenshots of all the tweets I found after all the research I did. This is just an opinion piece. It's just oh yeah, CompuServe, yeah, that was one. Web crawler. I mean, you can tell people's age when they start talking about what internet they used when they were a kid. I remember that I think I was the last year of a lot of the kids who had to see people like take their phone receiver and put it into a special cradle that allowed it to connect to the internet. About 1K a second, which is
your head and this civilization every single day. It's a nuclear weapon. So let me give you, here's another
social media is a nuclear weapon.
An account in just a couple of hours had 7,325 likes.
A couple hours. That's not a lot. If you're talking about viral, if you're talking about like a channel that's trying to do like wide-scale destabilization of American politics, then you're talking about millions of likes. You're not talking about 7,000 likes. This is the kind of fucking person who believes that like the Earth is only 6,000 years old or doesn't understand scale. Fuck.
333,000 views. It's from
He's showing his age. I mean, that's all he's doing. He's just showing how old he is.
An Iranian account breaking a standoff.
I don't understand computers. I don't understand this social media. It seems like a scam. I think it's pointed at our children to try and get them to be libertarians. Or libertarians.
Occurred between vessels of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and the U.S. Navy near the Strait of Hormuz. Then the video of the alleged clash. So this one went mega viral by implying imminent U.S. humiliation. Foreign accounts. And
did he just say mega viral when he said 7,300 likes? mega viral with 7,300 likes. Mega viral.
Amplified this with the narrative of we're losing, we're losing, we're losing, to make Americans turn on Trump and Vance. Next one, Iranian embassy, their account, mocking the U.S. Navy. We don't hesitate even for a moment in defending our country. The scene of the U.S. destroyer fleeing the Straits of Hormuz with a video. This is straight propaganda from an official embassy handle.
Like, fuck you, dude. Like, propaganda's existed. Oh, I guess when it's against the U.S. or when it's against white people, it's probably a bad thing. But there's been fucking propaganda. I mean, it got popular during the Cold War, but like, I mean, not popular, but like it got really, really popular in the zeitgeist in the Cold War. Like, there was just all that creative propaganda with like, you know, the films and like the hunts through Hollywood trying to figure out who was a pinko commie. But no, we've been using propaganda during like most conflicts. I think as early as, oh God. I mean, they used to do, they used to have coins, like, where like competing emperors would like have like their own coins that they would like hand out to people. Like, what? I want to see if there's an origin of propaganda. Origin of propaganda. Established in 1622 was the term, was established in 1622 by Pope Gregory the 14th to spread Catholicism. God damn, of course fucking Christians are responsible for inventing propaganda. Of course. Of fucking course. While the term is 17th century, the practice of using targeted messaging, art, and rumors to influence public opinion dates back to ancient civilizations, including Greece and Rome. Yeah, I figured Greece and Rome would be like a good place to start for that. Deprived from Latin, blah blah blah. Religious roots. Pope Gregory XIV created a commission of cardinals to oversee foreign missions, creating a college of propaganda under Pope Urban VIII to train priests. There you go. Christians invented propaganda. The concept was heavily used during the Reformation and for state-sponsored messages during conflicts like the Spanish Armada. While present American Revolution and other historical conflicts, propaganda became systematic and pervasive during World War I to shape public opinion and national sentiment, notably through the U.S. Committee of Public Information. There you go. We used to have a state-funded propaganda department. So it's like him being mad about, what, 3 tweets that he named? Didn't even provide him on the screen or anything, but he named 3 tweets, random fucking tweets. I mean, from state officials, but random fucking tweets that simply said U.S. tanker or U.S. carrier, like, runs from, like, he's not even saying, like, capitulated to, ceded victory to, anything like that. And he's saying that that's a nuclear weapon. He's saying that that's a gun. Fucking crazy that Glenn Beck is still on the internet. It's still, like, functioning because his brain is jelly.
Designed to humiliate and divide. Trump is weak. Warmongers got us into this. And it does.
Oh no, Trump is weak and warmongers did get us into this. Why is that a shit take? That's exactly what happened. That's just an observation. That's not even a commentary. That's just... Trump is weak in general. I mean, you can't even lift a fucking glass of water with one hand. Like, Lord knows what happens when he goes to the urinal.
It doesn't stop with the official handle, and it even goes into some people that, you know, we have watched for years and years. Here's one. Trump says U.S. will blockade Strait of Hormuz after Iran peace talks fail. Israel prepares for war. BlackRock is running the show, and the world economy.
Yada yada yada. We all get Glenn Beck.
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would.
You hear that, Christians? Trump says that the Pope's wrong. Apparently, the Pope is wrong, guys. Did you guys know that the Pope was wrong? The Pope is wrong. He's weak on crime. He doesn't know shit about foreign policy.
not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead. I think he's very weak on.
I'm sorry? Hundreds of millions of people dead? What's he referencing? Is he referencing just Iran? Like just in general of just being Iran? Or what is he talking about? Hundreds of millions of people dead? What the fuck is he talking about?
With regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions.
Oh, okay. He's saying that if Iran got a nuclear missile, regardless, I mean, we don't even know if they're going to use it if they got it. We don't even know if they would fire it at somebody if they had access to it, which there's still no evidence that they were enriching uranium. Still no evidence. Or that they were building facilities to enrich uranium. Still no evidence, especially aside from the fact that we were launching a sabotage campaign for like the last 30 years, actively.
People dead. I think he's very weak on crime. And
He thinks that the Pope is weak on crime. He thinks the Pope is weak on crime. I'm sorry, I just need to repeat that again. Donald Trump thinks that the Pope is weak on crime. The Pope is weak on crime. The Pope You're a paid trader? Man, I wish I was getting paid for this. That would be fucking sweet. And no, actually, protest is protected by the First Amendment is actually cornerstone of our democracy. Anyone who would subvert that is the traitor.
and other things. He went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo. There's nothing to apologize for.
Just responding by calling the Pope weak on crime.
Wrong.
Trump's not apologizing after slamming the Pope over the weekend. It started on Saturday
Slamming
when
the Pope.
Pope Leo delivered a peace prayer at the Vatican. He called for
He
an end to
slammed
the
the
Iran war
Pope.
and announced the delusion of omnipotence.
Oh my gosh.
He claims is driving the conflict, saying enough of this display of power and the
Hilarious.
war. A message that was clearly sent to President Trump. The Pope's political rhetoric came just after meeting with former Obama advisor and Dem strategist David Axelrod. Huh. And then on Sunday night, you had...
Yep, there are religious people on the left. It's, again, really weird to assume there aren't.
60 Minutes, revealing that the Pope was not going to be coming back to the United States, to his home country, his homeland, to celebrate our 250th birthday in July. They're already telling us.
I love that the Chiron says another woke pope. These people can't even define woke. Like, you can... I don't think that you need to use the term anymore. I think that there are probably a lot of other terms that are, like, more effective in rage baiting the left. It's fucking weird. Hey, Helmet, how's it going? It'd be really funny if that happened. I would be into it. I'd watch it. I mean, he seems pissed at just about any other person who would be considered an authority of something. He doesn't like people, pushing back on his ideas, I think.
This for some reason. Instead, for our 250th birthday, the Pope will be going to Lampedusa.
Lampedusa!
Italian island in the Mediterranean, just north of Africa, south of Sicily. Tens of thousands of migrants land on this island on their way to Europe every single year. And
To that I have to say, so the fuck what? He's the Pope. You don't have to go visit your homeland at all, ever. If you're the Pope, you live in the Vatican now. That is now your new homeland. If you're fucking the chosen vessel for God on earth, as far as the Catholics are concerned, and a lot of Christians, then okay, then you've made the Vatican City your home now. That's you. Once you die, you ascend into heaven. Like that's You are now the spokesman for the Almighty, and that's where his center of power is, I guess. Lampedusa, USA. That does still count. I was wondering why it said Lamped USA. It didn't make sense to me, but then he said Lampedusa, so I was like, okay. And apparently he's I mean, this is Newsmax, so it's all like, you know, right-wing stuff, but apparently he's also very involved in calling people, you know, migrants to Europe, you know, bad as well. So it's at least he's being like somewhat global with his hatred, or the network's hatred, I guess.
The Pope is going there for the 250th anniversary of the United States. That is a major call for open borders.
Who the fuck gives a goddamn single elephant shit that the Pope decides to go somewhere for a 250th anniversary of something? 50th is halfway. Every century would be fine. Every millennia is fine. But halfway? Do you see people celebrating half fucking birthdays? No. Goddamn.
60 Minutes interviewed some of America's most influential cardinals and archbishops last night. And of course, Lampedusa was talked about.
July 4th in Lampedusa, Italy, a site where tens of thousands of migrants land on their way to Europe every year.
He's sending a message that his top priority right now is to be with those who are downcast and marginalized.
Yeah. And I think that anyone who hears that and thinks that that's an admission of guilt, or that it's some indication of guilt in some way, is fully fucking unhinged. Fully unhinged. Like hanging off, like the hinges are like disjoint, like you've taken the doors off the hinge, and then it's only hanging on by just a little bit on the bottom one, but the top hinge is fully coming off. It's even bending the metal on the bottom one at that point, you know, so that's fully unhinged.
Spanish masses in our archdiocese went down 30% from the year before, and it's all fear.
Cardinal, those are strong words
Yeah.
to call ICE a lawless organization.
When they have to hide their identities to terrify people, violate other guarantees of our Constitution and Bill of Rights, somebody's got to call that out.
Trump bit his tongue.
And you guys disagree. No, Newsmax would fully disagree with anything decrying ICE. And did you hear like the silence? He was like, yeah. I bet my brother would be disappointed. He's Orthodox Catholic. Who gives a shit, man? Fuck. Like, you're not supposed to have a guy that you worship, you know? You're supposed to have the God up there, you know? I don't know. I think people don't quite understand what it's supposed to be. You guys.
Tongue until Sunday night when he posted Pope Leo is.
You yelled at me for generalizing yesterday. You guys meaning what? What did I say that generalized it? You yelled at me. Did I yell at you for generalizing? I don't yell at anybody.
Weak on crime, terrible for foreign policy. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons does not sit well with me, nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left. I don't.
Loser from the left. So presidential.
Want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Pope Leo responded earlier today, telling reporters on a flight to Algeria that he has no fear of the Trump administration. Not that he should, and nobody is threatening the Pope, we can tell you that. Father Frank Ramon joins us now. And sir, it's good to have you on.
I mean, it sure doesn't sound like the Pope is necessarily afraid of like an imminent threat. I think what he means is like a threat to his faith or a threat to their mission. Yeah, I would be surprised if he really gives a shit if Trump himself would threaten the Pope. But I mean, calling him wrong and calling him soft on crime, those are not threats, definitely like insulting statements that, I mean, he doesn't have to have like policies against like international crime or something. Like, I don't understand that. That's insane to me. Insane to me.
So no fear of the administration makes it sound like he wants people to think that he's being threatened by the administration, which he isn't. But this Pope is certainly taking a political side, and they're making a big statement about open borders and the lawlessness that comes with it right there on 60 Minutes. What's your reaction to that?
Yes, Rob. Well, you know, like many of our viewers, I'm a faithful Catholic, and I'm also a very strong supporter of President Trump and all that he does. And, you know, you can do both. And here's the distinction that has to be made, which our church...
Now, hey, that was one of the first things he said that actually makes sense. You can be both. You can be both a supporter and a Catholic. You can do both. That's one of the first things I've agreed with.
Leaders are not making adequately, but it's part of church teaching. First is the Catholic principles and teaching. The Pope is obliged to teach that, so are the bishops. Then there's the application of those teachings. And the specific application of a teaching that a lawmaker or a president needs to make is his decision based on his expertise as the president. There's not a Catholic teaching about whether we should bomb Iran or how much we should bomb them or when we should stop. There's not a Catholic teaching about how many deportations should occur or where or when or how or how ICE should be structured or whether it should even exist. There's no Catholic teaching on that. So when it comes...
But he can still, if it's a global thing, he's seen as like the global, the guy that you go to for Catholic stuff. Then like if he has a opinion about something that's like a big global monstrosity, like you know, not giving due process to people that you're aggressively deporting, then I mean he could speak out on it if he wants. That's, you know, I think a moral thing over a Catholic thing. But yeah, it's true. You know, I mean, I'm sure that Christians would probably argue that there's some teaching somewhere, and there's probably one or two of them who would be able to point out Bible verses that have things to say about migration and stuff like that. Indeed, Catholic teachings on killing people, well, yeah, but not on nuclear having a nuke, or not on Israel, or not Israel, not on not on Iran having a nuke. Like, I don't think there's a specific thing in the Bible that says don't let Iran have a nuke. But yeah, well, I mean, in that he's right.
Comes to the application of these principles, we have to give leeway and deference to our elected officials to do the job and make the decisions we elected them to make. And at the same time, be able to say, hey, listen, if it's a matter of opinion or what the church calls prudential judgment, it's perfectly okay to disagree with the Pope. Whether you're Catholic or not, President Trump is completely right on the facts, on the policy,
and you bombed the landing. And you choked on the dismount, you bombed the landing. It came in crashing and burning. And you could have said the right thing, and you just chose not to.
The Catholics shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm not being a faithful Catholic if I'm siding with President Trump on this.
We're popes.
No, that's not the point.
Statements like this about political measures inside of this country and in other countries. This doesn't seem like we used to have this conversation.
No, you're right, Rob. You know, I worked at the Vatican for a while under Pope John Paul II, and there were many times when I was involved in meetings, even under Pope Benedict, where my input was asked in terms of things the Pope should say or not say. And very often, even if it was just very indirectly suggesting that we were trying to interfere in the internal decisions of a country or its head of state, they said, no, the Pope is not going to say that. So, yeah, I think that we're at a much more...
Could it be that you just had takes that were, like, not popular? Potentially?
Divisive moment in the church where they're taking these political stands.
I want to show you the controversial meaning.
Yeah, I mean, yes. According to the Bible, you're not supposed to be taking political stances, but saying that injustice is inhumane and like calling that stuff out when you see it, that's not taking a political stance. It just so happens that all this shit happens to be political. Like injustices and like dehumanizing of people and marginalizing it all is intrinsically tied to things that are political. And so you can't really necessarily avoid making an indirect political statement, but you're using that as a weapon now. You're using that as a cudgel. You're saying that if he's doing that he's not a true Pope or a true Catholic or a true Christian or whatever. That's such the wrong direction. You're not supposed to go in that direction. You're supposed to go further away from that. My God.
Okay, so today Trump responded to the Jesus-like photo was posted on Truth Social. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he cleared everything up. Yeah, we had it all wrong. Yeah. Check this out.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support.
Now, I have to wonder, did he think that it was going to go over well? Like, did he think that there are enough of the crazy Christians who are going to be like, oh yeah, dude, Trump is totally Jesus. Like, yeah, man. Like, did you guys ever wonder if maybe like Trump is like the second coming? Totally is the second coming. But they weren't like that.
And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I had.
You're not holding a scalpel or a stethoscope or a chart or even a rod with a snake on it. You're holding a glowing light. And you're standing over a man with your hand on his forehead. Is it because your idea of doctors is just somebody taking somebody's temperature by holding their hand to their forehead to see if they have a fever? Is that how you imagine doctors? In flowing long robes with red sashes?
I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
You got to be kidding. How did people come up with that? He said it's fake news. Well, let's see how. Wait a minute. How did we come up with that? He says he's a doctor.
Now, if you look, oh, you can't even see it. It's the borders preventing you from seeing it. But look, right here, it looks like some kind of weird shark monster. It does not look like a plane. Neither of these look like planes. So bad job. Bad job, Mr. President. And then, I mean, it is so very clearly intended to make it look like he's Jesus. How do you feel like you can fleece people like that? You know, like, I mean, he does and it works. So, you know, Teflon Don, right?
Yeah. So you have a glowing orb in your left.
I love this guy's volume level. The monitor must be like just always at a red line. I mean, I know that I talk pretty close to the mic and that my audio peaks quite a lot, especially when I do something like this. But I don't think you guys enjoy that. I don't think that's pleasant to people's ears. But I don't know. You know, who am I? I'm just some guy. Even that is a little loud. Louder than it has been.
Left hand. Yeah. And you're touching this man's head and it's glowing. Yeah. I've never seen a doctor wear garb like that. I mean, if you're a doctor, where's your white jacket? Where's your stethoscope?
You know, maybe in the early hundreds BC, they might have been dressed like that. Maybe in the, you know, that could be, or AD, I mean, it could be like from the Greek/Roman days. I know that there's all kinds of other, like, none of this other stuff shows anything ancient, but you know what? It's a AI image. You know, it could be anything. You know, he could have said a doctor in the prompt, and it just made him like that. You know, who knows? Who knows?
And where's your clipboard at? But you have to be specific when you put that in AI. You got to put me healing somebody, but then pick me as Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Now, if you weren't familiar with the Hodge twins, as far as I understood, they've been staunchly pro-Trump for the entirety of their career. I don't know what made them not Trump supporters, but I could also be wrong. So I don't know much about the Hodge twins. I just know that people have asked me to watch their stuff before, and it's usually on a day that I'm doing like anti-Trump stuff. So I don't know if it's... I'm not familiar with them, but they sounded to me, when introduced to me, like people who were in support of Trump. So I don't know.
If you type in ChatGPT, hey, give me a picture of Donald Trump as a doctor healing somebody, it's no way in hell AI is going to come up with a picture of Jesus and Donald Trump.
I don't know. You know, you never know. All right. I've never typed Donald Trump as a doctor healing people before into ChatGPT because I don't give a shit about Donald Trump when I'm not doing this, obviously. But like, I don't think it would come up with this. I agree with them.
healing somebody. You got to be very specific with using AI. You got to give it the right prompts. Yeah. To get that picture, you have to put in.
He's not dressed as a doctor. Side note, if we left healthcare to the religious, doctors would still be wearing plague masks with the long beaks. Well, yeah, and I don't think we would have really advanced the field of medicine as far as we have. Like, even in terms of, like, just beyond the rudimentary practices of hygienic observance, but also, like, in terms of just concepts. Like, we'd be like, oh, no, God's going to take care of it. He'll take care of it all. It'll be fine. Like Christian Scientists? I forget who. There's a sect of Christianity that doesn't allow their kids to be treated by doctors.
They depict me as Jesus Christ. Because if you depict me as a doctor, you have the white jacket and the stethoscope. Yeah, and the clipboard. I've never seen a doctor wearing a red blanket around his shoulders like that.
I know. How do you know? Okay, maybe that's something that some doctors wear.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that fake news. And you got, I think, in the air, you got fallen soldiers. That's what it's angels. I mean, it's got a godlike presence. Yeah, it's very Jesus-like. This person's praying. You're dressing like what Jesus used to probably dress like. That's what he's depicted as dressing. Right. When you go to... I don't see any Red Cross logos or anything. Yeah. Let me see this. Like, when I type in Jesus healing people online, I see this glowing. It's the same garb. Right. Got a blanket around the shoulder, something like that. Like
it's usually red or
I don't really
brown.
Think you should be calling it fake news. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption. People would make you, he's depicted himself like Jesus. I mean, you depicted yourself once as the Pope, so.
These are not bad points. These are all true points. If I've ever would have disagreed with the Hodge twins before, I agree with them now.
He says it's fake news, though. So that's a great point. I mean, I don't understand why you just don't own it. You own this. Yeah. Won't you just own it? Hey, pull up internet search doctors healing people. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
They all got a white jacket on. They got a stethoscope. And one of them's even got a clipboard. Yep. Got some DEI going, too.
That was funny. That was funny. That did not sound hateful like a lot of the right tends to sound when they're talking about DEI. That was actually funny. Look, they got some DEI too. That was funny. Credit where credit's due.
I mean, that's what a doctor looks like. That white jacket, stethoscope, and a clipboard. Obviously, you're the Pope right there. I mean, and here's your picture on Truth Social. Reasonable people.
It's like just such a reasonable take. It's like, and you did picture yourself as a Pope right there. That's just so. That's just laid out like so simply.
People think you are Jesus right there. You got fallen soldiers in the air. You got people praying. You have a nurse there, and that golden orb in your hand, and his head is glowing. Reasonable people think you are. Well, he's depicting yourself as Jesus. Well, maybe he is a doctor, Kelvin. Maybe he's a doctor and he's taking his temperature.
That's what I said.
He's taking his temperature, and this is gold because gold's at what, $5,000 now? I'm surprised you ain't got the stock market in the background. Right. 50,000. Right. No, that's not fake news. I mean, you put that up. You was criticizing the Pope. You called him weak. I thought it was just a response to the Pope when I saw it. Yeah. A lot of people on Truth Social was criticizing. No, this is Jesus Christ. You shouldn't. A racial person, what they would say, he's depicting himself as Jesus. I've never seen a doctor with a golden orb with fallen soldiers in the air depicted as angels in that garb.
I mean, I haven't either, but maybe we just haven't seen the right doctors. You know, maybe we just haven't been there at the right time. All right.
Look like Jesus Christ in that picture. But hey, what do I know? I'm just fake news. I mean, come on, Trump wouldn't lie to us, would he? Has he ever done that before? Yeah, has Trump ever lied before?
Nah.
Like a lot of people, there was a lot of criticism
Straight up Antichrist energy. Red Pill USA. I love it. The infighting is just, sometimes it's so appropriate. In what twisted delusional timeline does Trump think he's playing Jesus Christ out here, healing people like some messianic savior, as if some PDF file networks he continues to shield and protect suddenly have divine power to perform miracles now? Pretty based,
On
one could
Twitter.
argue.
Yeah, like this guy posted this, and that was.
And I think that's the first time I've ever used the word based in all seriousness.
Was pretty much a lot of the sentiment that I saw.
Yeah.
Like, this is straight up Antichrist energy. In what twisted, delusional timeline does Trump think he's playing Jesus Christ out here healing people like some messianic savior? As if the same pedophile networks he continues to shield and protect suddenly have the divine power to perform miracles now. Yeah, yeah. I mean, any reasonable person, whether you on the left or the right, when they saw that photo, we knew exactly what you was trying to achieve in that photo. No, but look at the criticism right here. It's a meme. Relax. Okay. If Biden did that, Kevin, yeah, you'd be all over. But yeah, since it's Trump, since he's our savior, we're not going to touch it. Especially with him holding golden orbs in his hand. Yeah, I thought it was bad luck, but he deleted it.
Yeah, you don't know what those orbs can do, you know? Could blast a hole right through your chest.
Sorry for
You don't
the
want
jump
that.
scare, Donald
Nobody wants that.
Trump, who quite literally never deletes a post off of social media, deleted this post of himself pretending to be Jesus. But he did leave this one up, so let's read it. Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other...
This person, it probably is a what do you call that? Friendly fire. So I don't think they're a Trump supporter. They have painted nails. You never know.
Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services, even when going outside and being 10 feet and even 20 feet apart. Let's stop there. He says that they were arresting Catholic priests. Who? Who is they that was arresting these?
He was the president at the time.
Catholic priests. Any word there? I like his brother Louis much better than I like him because Louis is all MAGA. He gets it, and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. When did Pope Leo ever say that it's okay for Iran to have a
Yeah, again,
nuclear weapon?
when did he ever
Okay,
say that? Yeah, so this is friendly fire. I'm not going to comment on that.
Let's get to the thing that we need to talk about and address first. Let's get to the photo. Then we'll get into what Trump said and then what the Pope said.
So they're going to tell us the real meaning behind the photo, okay? There's some real meaning behind it, and that's what they're going to tell us, okay?
Okay, and I want you to comment your honest opinion. Todd, show the photo.
All right, I have a new little possible thing for all of you guys to do. All right, so it seems like I have the ability to put a poll up there. Okay, so this picture right here, and here's the poll.
You didn't know that you could put a poll up?
All right, the Trump
And this is a show?
Jesus picture. That's what we'll call it. So in the chat, I want you to put 1 if you're okay with it, the number 1 if you're okay with it, or if you think it's funny, or 2 if it's blasphemous. This little thing is supposed to be able to.
Yeah, we're going to see if it actually keeps up with the chat. So blow the chat up. We want to see if it keeps up.
It is. It is.
All right, let's go. Blow the chat up.
funny,
Let's go.
one if it's
We'll give you a
funny,
solid 30 seconds. 30 seconds to light.
Blow the chat up, guys. Blow the chat up. I feel like people that are in sort of a similar age range as me, I'm guessing they're probably younger than me, but facial hair kind of makes them look a little older. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're similar to my age, you probably shouldn't be talking in meme speak. I feel like there's a certain distance from that era that makes it okay for older people to adopt, but don't be trying to sound like you're part of the youth. It just makes you sound pathetic. It's really weird. It's really weird when I hear people my age, 40s, even nearing 40, even when they're in like 30s, like I would say even in their 30s, when they start to go like, "Oh yeah, fam, that's cap." Like, we're gonna whatever the fuck kids are 6, 7, you know, like shit like that. It makes me cringe. It makes me cringe big time. I'm gonna let this play. I think my dog has to go out.
Like get it up there, and then we'll see. Okay, yeah, overwhelmingly so right now. Keep it going. We'll go a solid 10 count. 1. Oh, this is the chat.
You can keep talking. It's going to keep up.
I know. I'm just looking at the chat. I just want people to see the chat right now. How crazy it is. I think we're about to break.
We might have broke the poll.
But I will say it's starting to creep back more even here.
And hey, let's be honest, people. Only vote once. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's fixing to be 50-50 right now, and this is kind of how I saw it going. Actually, I kind of saw it going like this. Okay. All right. So while this is going here, this is a cool little thing you found out, Todd. This is really cool. Yeah, 1%, and it'll be a dead even lock here. Keep voting. Keep voting. Keep voting. Okay. So context is key to this photo. All right.
Yeah.
This is Donald Trump did not make this AI photo. Okay. Let's show the original poster of the photo, Todd. It was Nick Adams. Okay. Now, Nick Adams posted this in February of 26, and it was made in the realm of, if you go up to Nick's
For letting me know that one.
post, America has been sick for a long time. President Trump is healing this nation. That was Nick Adams who said that. Now, there is a difference. If you look at the top, at the very top, there's a bunch of American soldiers at the top of Nick's original post. Well, the one that Trump posted, if not, now we have the majority, now we have a slight majority of funny. Someone, and look, if you think President Trump ran this through AI and changed it, you are delusional. Trump.
Come on. A guy with nothing else to do than scream on Twitter, or well, on Truth Social at 3 a.m. You don't think that he's there fiddling with the prompts? This is probably, you know how like when you get your grandpa on email and he's like just starts sending emails like incessantly, like for the next, until he's dead, he just sends email after email after email after email. Because it's his new thing, right? Hey, son, or grandson, I'm so glad you got me into this email thing. I've been sending emails to all these different people. You know, I'm sure we've all had an old person in our life who got fixated on one particular aspect of modern technology. Well, that's probably Trump. And I would say his buddy Elon, when they were buddy-buddy, is probably the one who kind of showed him how to do all this stuff. Because I would highly doubt that anybody else has the patience to, except Eric. You know, he's got daddy issues. He's raising Eric the same way that he was raised, which is unfortunate for Eric. But Laura, you know, she won't back down. You know. And when I was growing up, I never thought we would have a president that gets into fights on the internet with people. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I would much prefer a president that's willing to get physical. You know, like have a little dust up with some other leaders. You know, go like, "Come on, Jerry's. I'm begging for it. I'm begging for it, Jerry's." I want to say Jerry's World War II, I guess. That's what it's from.
Trump didn't run this thing through AI. But let's go up at the clouds now.
Who did? A staffer? Nick Adams? Who did it? There's no other potential person. Who gives a shit about Trump enough to do that? Like, what the fuck?
And look at this. Someone, either a staffer or something, changed the clouds, and it's no longer just
a
soldiers
staffer
in the clouds. Now it looks like it's either, you got to zoom in on it, Todd.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find the differences here.
I'm telling you what the difference is. It's the clouds. In the clouds, you got soldiers in the original, and the one that was posted last night, there's some kind of, that's either a demon or an archangel or something in the clouds. That's the difference.
Statue of Liberty looking thing. I don't know.
No, man, those look like wings or something. Either way,
I don't know.
Either way, that's the only difference that I've been able to spot. Now, I'll tell you where I stand on this. Do I think Trump was trying to present himself as Jesus? No, I don't. Do I think...
I mean, doesn't that just erode all remaining credibility? You don't think that Trump's trying to portray himself as Jesus? He said that in all seriousness. He said that without laughing.
I think Trump was leaning into the fact to where Trump knows exactly what buttons to push exactly at the right time.
Oh, it's this thing that conservative men always do, like excusing Trump's behavior by saying that he's just trolling people. Isn't that more sad? Isn't that more of a sad thing? And look at this guy. He got the Matt Walsh hair plugs. He got the Matt Walsh, what is that called? It's the hair that really grows. Bosley. Like, this is a normal hairline. It's not a straight line. It's not straight across your forehead. There are very few people who have like completely even straight hairlines. Like, that's just not a thing that exists in human males. We all have just some kind of like a little bit of curvature there or divot, or like, you know, like just even like from scars when you were young, like divots or like changes, like that. That's not natural. That's a Bosley job.
And when other feuds are going on, Trump's feuding with the Vatican.
You can even see. Oh, the poor guy. I really don't mean to be calling this out. Like that's really mean. But you can even see as he turns toward the camera, like his.
Other feuds are going on.
Right there, like where the you can see where the plugs are. Ah, never mind.
Trump's feuding with the Vatican. So Trump, being Trump, he posts a photo that he knows the world is going to lose their mind. If he did post this, I'm also.
If you're a male and you're losing your hair, I fully support using artificial means to bring it back, but I also support just letting it go, man. Either way, whatever makes you feel more secure as a human being. That's all I care about.
Opening up the door for Trump might not even know that this got posted, and it might get deleted here soon because a staffer did it, and Trump's like, what the?
Also, I think if anybody needs any like fashion tips about anything, he didn't want to be called Baldy Beardo. I mean, I guess, but even bald with a beard make you look like a fucking Viking. Like, to me, that's strong. That's a strong fucking look. And I guess I just don't give a shit if people are bald. Men or women, I don't give a shit. But also, I think people sometimes need fashion advice, and I would say clean up your beard a little bit. But what I would also say is, don't do this, guys. Don't do this. All you men out there, don't put a ball cap backwards and below your eyebrows. First of all, but second of all, don't wear glasses that make that like it looks like you're trying to have like a superhero mask, and it doesn't look good. Broken lines are really good in terms of faces. So asymmetry or differences in like facial hair lengths. So like, I mean, this guy, I would say that he'd want to just kind of like buzz the upper part. This guy has a good line here, but he's letting his bottom grow a little too much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to get complacent when it comes to trimming, because you can't trim in 3D. You know what I mean? Like you can't just shape it and then have it stay that way. Like you have to use fixative, or you got to use like hairspray or something. But like you want different levels of hair. It seems like he's got it on the side, but even then it's still a little shaggy. You can see like he hasn't groomed it in a bit. But this guy, I think he probably has to do so for work, because the front isn't, and I think he probably does something like in manufacturing or like either construction or where you're around machinery and long hair can get you into trouble.
It's like the monkey video.
Or he just likes a clean look. I've been there before too.
Right? Like the monkey video thing that happened. Okay, so let's open the door for the fact that Trump might not even know. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say that Trump did this. Trump ran it through AI. He added like the little freaking little.
Trump might not know what? That the Obama's heads were put onto monkey bodies? He might not know that? He's the one that did it. He might not know that there was a picture posted depicting him as Jesus. There's nobody on earth who would do that. I mean, who would actually like do that as an iteration of somebody else's thing and then post on his account. There's only one person on earth who do that.
Little archangel, or some people think it's the devil or something. Why the devil would be in heaven, I don't know. So I disagree with that analogy. I think the president should delete it. Here's why. Not because I think he actually was trying to represent himself as Jesus, but I think it doesn't help. And sometimes I think there's some things, there's just no reason to post it, and it causes.
I mean, he's not, but, and you know, though you can say that if you like.
More division than it should, and so just delete it. I think it's just delete it, and then I don't even think the president needs to acknowledge it, because I don't think the president was trying to depict himself as Jesus in the first place. I just don't. I don't think he was trying to depict himself as Jesus. The president on multiple occasions has said, I'm not even sure I'm going to make it into heaven. I'm trying my best to do right at the end. I don't think the president.
Oh yeah, I mean, his spiritual advisor also said that the angels were coming out of Africa, the angels are coming out of Australia, the angels are coming out of Mexico, the angels coming to She also said that too.
Thinks himself as Jesus incarnate and all that kind of stuff, or reincarnate. I don't think all of that. But nevertheless, it has set the Catholic world ablaze. So just delete it. Just delete the photo. Just delete the photo. I don't necessarily think a public statement is necessary either. I think just delete the photo and move on. Todd, what do you think?
What a weak pussy of a man to recommend that Donald Trump capitulate to anybody else. Gosh, how can you call yourself a Republican?
I just look, whether I don't agree.
Tiny balls.
Agree with it or disagree with it, I'm just going to ask the president a question. Why? What purpose does this serve? You know, in any way, shape. This does not.
That is exactly the question that I asked. I said, why? Like, the second I saw it, I was like, why? 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 What? Like, why? I mean, he's already, like, he does so much. Like, he's accountable for so much. And this is just like, it's so reasonable to just go, why? What was the point? We're on the same page on that one, Baldy Bearda.
At all. This does not help your base. This does not help MAGA. They're already calling us Christian nationalists and crazy stuff.
And the problem with, I think the problem with his look, he's got J.J. Abrams' problem here is that he's got dark hair and he's picked glasses that are much too wide for his face. Not much too wide. Because front on, it doesn't look like they're that wide, but that's the thing. They look bigger than they are because he's chosen to make it look like he's got no hair, which, I mean, it might be transplanted.
Does this not help you in any way at all? It doesn't help us either. Like, you're actively hurting yourself and you're actively hurting us. They already hate us. And
stop, Daddy Trump! Daddy Trump, stop! Stop! You're making us all look weak, Daddy Trump. Stop! The devil wouldn't be in heaven.
Stop! Y'all, just stop. I don't believe Jesus. Stop. No, just no. But yeah, I do agree.
But some people are taking it that way. Every major Catholic person has come out and said they think it's blasphemous and all this other kind of stuff. So again, regardless of intent, I think just take it down. Take it down and be done. All right, let's get back.
You're right.
Let's get back.
Well, we can't read Timothy 2:12 because the stream is ending. It is 1 o'clock. Got to do my chores, then I got to make my wife dinner. But we can do that tomorrow if you'd like. We will be back same time, same bat channel, same Batman. Although the most of the day, if we do read that for you, XV, then most of the day we'll be playing a game that I purchased recently called Retro Rewind, and it's about owning a VHS store. It's been really fun. I've been addicted. I've been thoroughly addicted to it. So we're playing that, but if you would like, when we start the stream, we can read Timothy 2:1-2, if you would like. All right? So tune in then. All right, Helmet, XV, Skippy, anyone else who's still here, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I think go see sun. I don't think there's sun. I think it's cloudy. Go see the cloudiness. I can read it, but we can't really talk about it. Because I gotta pee, first of all, but also I have to go do chores. Oh, you have a WoW date? Hell yeah. Is it that one? Let me know if it's that one. 1:2. Oh no, it's 1 Timothy. Hang on. 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 2. You then, my son, be strong in the grace of Christ Jesus and the things you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, and trust to reliable people who also be qualified to teach others. Okay, well, we've read it. I don't know what you want me to glean from it, but we can talk about it tomorrow. All right, have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the clouds. All right, bye-bye, guys. Chapter 2, verse 1-2. All right, we'll read it tomorrow.